Welcome to the deep dive. Get ready because we're diving into a stack of notes covering the latest massive update for Fallout 76.
Yeah, this one's called Gone Fishin', just dropped, and it's kicking off Season 21.
It feels like a big one. I mean, Fallout 76, it's really changed since that rocky 2018 launch, hasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Bethesda's been plugging away, constant updates, evolving it, and this update, it really feels like another major step.
For sure. We're talking a brand new gameplay system, fishing, believe it or not, and alongside that, some really deep combat balance changes, stuff they've been working on for a while.
Right, plus a whole bunch of other improvements touching, well, almost everything.
So our mission today, wade through these patch notes, pull out the, the important bits.
Yeah, and figure out what it all actually means for you playing the game right now in Appalachia.
Okay, let's cast off then. Got to start with the big splash, right? Fishing.
Definitely.
This isn't just some little mini game. Sounds like a whole new system.
It really is. It kicks off with a new quest line, casting off. You start that by heading to a new spot, Fisherman's Rest. It's over in the Mire region.
And who do we meet there? The fishing guru.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
You meet Captain Raymond Clark, they call him the Fisherman, and he's got this hermit crab companion, Linda Lee.
A hermit crab, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, finish their quest, and you get your first fishing rod.
Now, the note said something interesting about the rod. You don't, equip it in your Pip-Boy?
Correct. Yeah, you don't slot it or anything. It's simpler. Find water you can swim in.
If you can swim in it, you can fish in it, I think was the line.
That's the one. The fish command just pops up when you're near the water. Simple as that.
But you can tweak the rod.
You can. At a tinker's workbench. You can modify it.
And that's not just cosmetic, right? How do the upgrades work?
No, it's tied to progression. You do the new fishing challenges, the daily quests, and you earn pieces like different style, bobbers, reels. You use those to upgrade the rod.
And why upgrade? Just catch stuff faster.
Well, yes, partly. But the notes say upgrading helps you catch mysterious creatures, and it makes some fish easier to reel in. So, sounds kind of necessary for the rare stuff.
Okay, so there's some depth here. It's not just click and wait.
Definitely not. You've got bait types to worry about, and even weather plays a role.
Bait types. Okay, break that down.
3 tiers. First, common bait. Does what it says on the tin, good for junk, common fish, the usual regional stuff. You can buy this from the fisherman, or get it from the daily quest sometimes.
Got it. Standard stuff. What's next?
Improved bait. This gives you a much better shot at uncommon fish.
Okay.
And this stuff, you can't just buy it. You got to find it, trade for it, get it from the daily quest, or maybe even public events. More valuable.
And the top tier for the real anglers.
Superb bait. That's for the really rare fish. And you mostly get this from working through Season 21 rewards.
Okay, bait strategy matters. What about the weather interaction? That sounds cool.
It does. Both natural weather and, the weather you can make with your CAMP weather station.
Yeah.
It affects your catch.
Yeah.
Clear weather. Mostly common fish, anywhere.
Makes sense.
But rainy weather. Better chance for region-specific fish. And those axolotls.
Oh, yeah, the axolotls. They mentioned those one new one each month for the season.
Exactly. 12 cute little guys to collect over the year.
Good. What about other weather? Like the bad stuff?
Yeah, rad storms or nuke zones actually increase your chance of catching glowing fish.
Huh. Interesting.
And the devs basically said it's up to you, the players, to figure out the best bait and weather combos for specific fish in different places. Adds a discovery element.
I like that. So you catch a fish. What then? Just admire it?
Well, you can eat it straight up. For hunger and health, bigger fish give more, obviously.
Okay.
But the more flexible thing is breaking them down into fish bits. You do that at a cooking station. You learn the recipe automatically when you start the quest line.
Fish bits? What are they good for? Crafting?
Mainly, yeah. They give a tiny bit of hunger health on their own. But mostly crafting. That first quest also gives you a recipe for grilled fish.
And that does.
It uses fish bits, and eating it gives you a nice buff, makes fish bite faster for 20 minutes. Really handy if you're settling in for a fishing session.
Useful.
And the daily fishing quest can give you other recipes too, like fish and potatoes, fish chowder, that sort of thing.
What about the hermit crab? Linda Lee?
Right. You could feed Linda Lee your fish bait. And she gives you a random legendary item back.
Whoa, okay. A new way to farm legendaries.
Seems like it. Adds a nice little daily loop.
So we've got common fish, regional, glowing, the monthly axolotls, any super rare trophy fish.
They hinted at something called local legends. Sounds like really tough, maybe specific condition catches. True bragging rights fish.
Can you show them off, like mount them in your CAMP?
You absolutely can. There's a curved fish display you can earn from challenges and dailies. Perfect for that local legend or your axolotl collection.
Nice.
Oh, and one more Season 21 related thing. Not strictly fishing, but part of the update. Any unused season tickets you have left over from the last 3 seasons, they'll automatically convert to gold bullion when the next season starts.
Oh, that's a nice bonus. Good for people sitting on those. Okay, so fishing adds this whole new relaxing layer, but Appalachia's still, dangerous. Let's switch gears hard.
Right.
Let's dive under the surface into maybe the biggest part of this update, the Combat Rebalance Project.
Yeah, this is huge. And it's not like it just came out of nowhere. They've been calling this a year-in-update project.
Ah, okay.
It actually started back with the Skyline Valley update last year. It's been building.
So this Gone Fishin' update is like the culmination?
That's how they're framing it. The biggest, most impactful changes are landing now.
What were they trying to achieve with all this rebalancing? What were the goals?
Several things, really. Make combat more interesting, more engaging, make more weapons feel, good to use, actually viable. Find a better balance between aiming down sights and using VATS. Make it easier for more players to actually contribute in group stuff, like public events.
Less just tagging mobs for loot.
Exactly. Reduce that tag and praise style. They want people actively fighting.
And do they feel they're getting there?
Their notes suggest, they're seeing more variety in ranged weapons being used, leveling feels smoother early on, and build diversity seems to be increasing.
So these latest changes are meant to sort of solidify that new foundation.
That seems to be the plan. Set a stable baseline for future content. They actually said they plan to slow down on these big combat updates after this one.
Okay.
Give things time to settle, see how it all plays out.
Right, let's get into the specifics then. The notes listed tons of weapon stat changes. What's the big picture?
The main trend is pretty broad base damage increases, especially for weapons that maybe felt a bit weak or too niche before.
Like what? Give us some examples.
Okay, so the assault rifle. Base damage went from 33 up to 66.
Yeah.
Black powder rifle, that big single-shot thing, 217 up to 449.
Huge jump.
Combat shotgun, 97 to 150. Laser guns, 44 to 72. Ultrasight lasers, 40 to 80. Plasma guns, 29 per shot up to 39. Enclave plasma, 32 up to 57.
So big buffs across the board, especially energy weapons.
Yeah, they got a lot of love. Even popular stuff like the handmade rifle got a bump 45 to 52.
What about the Fixer? That's like the commando rifle for so many people.
The Fixer went from 40 base damage up to 59. But, and this is key, they explicitly removed that hidden 20% extra damage it used to have over the standard combat rifle.
Oh, okay. So it's strong, but maybe not automatically best in slot anymore?
Potentially, yeah. Brings it more in line.
Okay, damage is one thing. What about VATS? AP costs change much.
Yes, and this is huge for VATS users. Lots of rifles and SMGs saw their AP costs go down significantly.
Oy.
Handmade rifle VATS costs dropped from 32 AP down to 16, half. Combat rifle 25 down to 15. Submachine gun 35 down to 15.
Wow, that makes burst fire and VATS way more sustainable.
Absolutely. Makes those builds feel a lot smoother.
Any AP costs go up.
A couple things. They removed the AP cost reduction that automatic receivers used to give on some weapons.
Right.
And the railway rifle saw a tiny increase, 15 to 17 AP. Same for the ultrasight laser gun, 14 to 17. So shifts in efficiency, definitely.
Critical hits and sneak attacks are vital for tons of builds. How did those multipliers fare?
A lot of weapons saw those multipliers adjusted, mostly increased, like the lever-action rifle. Its crit and sneak multipliers both went from 2.0x up to 3.0x.
Nice boost.
But there's a catch for some builds. If you put an automatic receiver on a weapon that could be semi-auto.
Like a combat rifle or handmade.
Exactly. Those auto receivers now give a flat 20% reduction to both crit damage and sneak attack damage.
Interesting. So a slight trade-off if you go full auto on those.
Yeah, discourages just slapping auto on everything if you're focused purely on sneak crits.
What about melee? Did the unarmed and two-handed folks get anything?
They did. Pretty much a broad increase in base damage across almost all melee weapons. Baseball bat, 55 up to 69. Combat knife, 33 to 52. Sledgehammer, 71 to 90. Lots of solid buffs.
Any nerfs in melee?
Just one mention specifically. The auto axe damage went down slightly, 31 to 24. But they said that was just fixing it to its previously intended value.
Gotcha. Any standout weapon mod changes?
Yeah, a few interesting ones. Plasma gun flamer mods. They now actually reduce AP cost by 10%. That's new.
Okay.
Gatling plasma beam splitter, always popular. Yeah. Bit of a rework there. Lower fire rate, but higher damage bonus. It now fires more projectiles, 5 instead of 4. But range, ammo capacity, AP costs were all adjusted too.
So different feel, probably.
Likely. And the regular plasma and enclave plasma flamer mods. Huge change. 400% increase in ammo capacity.
400%, wow.
Yeah, massive sustain buff. But they lost their old 40% damage bonus. And the splitter mods for Plasma Enclave Plasma, their AP cost penalty got cut in half. Yeah. From plus 100% down to plus 50%.
Okay, lots of tuning there. Any general weapon stuff fixes?
Good news on durability. Most weapons got an increase there.
Always well.
And they fixed some annoying reload animation bugs, especially with the quad legendary effect on things like the broadsider, black powder weapons, the dragon. They added a tiny firing delay to those quad versions to make it work right.
All right, let's tackle what sounds like the most fundamental combat change. The whole rework of crippling limbs.
Yeah, this is maybe the biggest system shift. They're moving away completely from that instant chance to cripple a limb on hit.
So perks and mods don't just say extra plus X% chance to cripple anymore?
Nope. Instead, those effects now give you a percentage increase to the amount of limb damage you deal.
Okay. So instead of a lucky shot crippling, you're just doing more damage specifically to the limb's health bar.
Exactly. You build up that limb damage faster. The goal, they said, is to make crippling more consistent, more predictable.
Does that make it easier or harder overall?
Their expectation. It'll actually make most regular enemies easier to cripple.
Well,
for bosses with huge limb health pools, it'll take more focused, sustained fire to actually break that limb. Less luck, more dedicated effort.
Okay, that makes sense. But the really, really big news related to this change.
This is the game changer. Because it's now based on consistent limb damage, they were able to remove crippling immunity from a whole bunch of creatures.
Wait, seriously? Enemies that you just couldn't cripple before?
Yeah, you now potentially can. The notes listed some heavy hitters.
Like who?
Imposter Sheepsquatch, Blue Devil, Ogwa, Jersey Devil, Trogs, the Strangler Grafton Monster,
whoa,
and a bunch of the enemy types you see in daily ops, cultists, fanatics, aliens, robots. The list goes on. Being able to cripple those enemies, that opens up completely new strategies.
Absolutely. How did the perks change to match this? Like Enforcer for shotguns, Tormentor?
They got reworked. Perks like Enforcer, Modern Renegade, One Gun Army, Bone Shatterer, Bashers, they now just give plus X% limb damage instead of that cripple chance.
Okay.
Stormwinter saw a big overhaul. Moved from luck over to perception. Costs 2 points now, just 1 rank. And its effect, it now deals plus 20% extra total damage for each limb that's already crippled on your target.
So it rewards you for crippling multiple limbs.
Exactly. Encourages focusing them down.
Any other sources of limb damage?
The Twisted Muscles mutation.
Yeah.
Now adds plus 50% limb damage, even more with strange in numbers. And some weapons, like the Black Powder Rifle, the Dragon, and specific mods, also switch from cripple chance to plus 50% limb damage.
This crippling change ties right into the next big section, doesn't it? The perk reworks.
Absolutely. Bethesda did a massive pass on a lot of perks. Some basic cleanup first, like removing perk requirements for crafting if you already know the plan. Seems logical.
Yeah, redundant.
And they added checks so you can't accidentally pick, like, ghoul perks if you're human, or vice versa when leveling.
And the names. Some of them got pretty funny renames.
They definitely had some fun there. Science is now Science with an exclamation mark. Rifleman became Downranger. Commando is Center Masochist. Shotgunner is Easy Target. Adds a bit of flavor.
Beyond the names, what kinds of functional changes did perks see?
A lot of them got simplified, fewer ranks needed. Think Armorer, Powersmith, Slow Metabolizer, Dromedary, Chem Fiend, Makeshift Warrior, Gunsmith. Fewer points needed to max them out now.
Okay, that frees up points. Any perks get totally new effects.
Oh yeah. Travel Agent. Now lets you fast travel even if you're over-encumbered. Costs more caps, but still huge.
Wow.
Dodgy, the AP-based dodge perk. No more cooldown. But now it costs AP every single time it triggers. And the cost scales with the damage avoided, according to the dev notes. Big change for AP management.
Yeah, that's a fundamental shift for dodgy builds. What about core damage perks?
The old science perks for energy fire cryo damage. Now single rank perks cost 2 points each, and their damage bonus scales with your intelligence stat.
Interesting. Adrenaline.
Also, now a single rank costs 1 point, gives a flat plus 10% damage per kill, and the duration just refreshes with each new kill. Yeah. Simpler, maybe more consistent.
Now the big ones, the weapon specialization perks. Rifleman, Commando, Shotgunner. They sound completely different now.
Totally reworked. Less about just flat damage increases, more about specific playstyle bonuses. The old rifleman group is now stuff like Downranger, Scoped Up, Smart Shot.
Okay.
Downranger adds damage based on how far away the target is. Smart Shot adds weak spot damage if you're aiming with a scope. Scoped Up and Long Shot focus on accuracy and range while aiming. More specialized effects.
And the automatic rifle perks, the old commando line?
Now, Center Masochist, Fast Fighter, Number Cruncher, Ground Pounder. Center Masochist adds damage if you hit the torso. Fast Fighter links movement speed and reload speed. Number Cruncher adds damage based on the weapons. VAULT-TEC. APOs cause interesting synergy there. Ground Pounder keeps its reload hipfire bonuses.
And shotguns. Easy target, you said.
Right. Shotgunner perks are now Easy Target, Love the Spread, Shotgun Champ, Skeet Shooter, Scatter Shot. Easy Target adds damage specifically to crippled targets.
Ah, synergy with the new crippling.
Exactly. Love the Spread increases projectile range. Shotgun Champ adds damage against crippled targets per pellet. And Scatter Shot. This one's wild with the new system. It makes a percentage of the limb damage you deal to one limb also apply to all other limbs on the target.
Whoa. So you shoot one leg and you're damaging all the limbs at once.
A portion of it, yeah. Could be incredibly strong for quickly crippling tough enemy.
That sounds powerful. Any other major perk moves or changes?
White Knight, the armor repair perk, moved from agility over to intelligence. Goat legs for fall damage. Now just one rank, gives total immunity, no more broken legs.
Nice.
Blood Sacrifice is weird, makes VAULT-TEC cost health instead of AP. Nerd Rage, the low health perk. Now one rank, cost 2 points. Lost the damage resistance, but kept the damage boost in AP region.
Okay, so these perk changes really force you to think more about how you fight, not just what weapon you use.
Precisely. More build definition, hopefully.
And to layer on top of that, legendary mods and mutations also got tweaked.
Yep. Quite a few legendary weapon effects got adjusted, mostly buffed, trying to make more options viable.
Any cool new effects?
There are. Nocturnal got a big rework, plus 50% damage, and plus 4 perception agility while cloaked. Stalkers now gives plus 100% sneak attack damage. Conductors makes crits restore health AP for you and teammates. Resilient gives a big resistance boost when you reload.
Interesting team play possibilities there. What about the classic damage ones? Bloodied, junkies.
Buffs. Bloody's max damage bonus went from 95% up to 130%. Junkie's cap went from 50% up to 100%. Mutants from 25% to 50%. Two-Shot got a massive boost, 25% bonus damage up to 75%. Gourmand's cap went from 24% to 40%. VAULT-TEC optimized 25% to 35%.
So more damage potential from those conditional prefixes.
Definitely. Instigating Change 2 now works if the target is above 60% health, not just 100%. And Juggernaut scales directly with your total HP, now into 100% damage bonus at 1,000 HP.
Wow, big change for Juggernauts. And the adrenal reaction mutation.
That one now gives plus 5% damage per kill, stacks up, even more with strange numbers, obviously. More damage stacking potential during fights.
Phew. Okay, that covers the massive build and combat changes. Lastly, quality of life stuff and bug fixes. Anything jump out?
Always a long list. Gameplay-wise, you can now set a priority for quick heal like tell it to use stim packs before Nuka-Cola.
Handy.
And fast travel costs are down 25% across the board, just cheaper to get around.
That's universally nice. Accessibility.
Good news there. Speech-to-text and text-to-speech for chat are back online. They'd been disabled for a while.
Okay. Workbench changes.
Minor reorganizing.
Yeah.
Gauss minigun, plasma caster, Tesla cannon are now correctly under heavy guns crafting. Fusion core crafting moved to the Tinker Bench. And you can now repair stuff that's already at 100% health if you have the perks like armor. Useful for over-repairing.
Right, getting that bonus durability. And the bug fixes. Always hundreds anything notable.
Yeah, tons fix. One good one. CAP turrets shouldn't randomly attack other players' bases anymore unless you're actually in PvP.
It's a relief for builders.
And they fixed pumpkin pie and carnival pie, not counting for herbivores. Big for those food builds. They even updated the jokes on the perk bubblegum packs. Small details.
Wow. Okay, that was a lot. This gun fishing update, it's clearly way more than just adding fishing.
Oh yeah. Fishing's the shiny new toy. But the combat and build shakeup is profound.
We covered the whole fishing system, the quest, the characters, the rod, upgrades, bait, weather, using the fish, Linda Lee, the trophies.
And then the massive combat rebalance stuff. Weapon damage, AT costs, crits, sneak, melee mods.
The fundamental shift in crippling, moving to limb damage, and crucially, removing immunity from so many enemies.
Yeah, that's huge. Plus, the perk rework simplification, new effects, those totally reimagined weapon specializations.
And finally, the legendary mod and new patient adjustments buffing various effects.
It's pretty impressive how they keep iterating on 76.
Yeah.
Responding to feedback, pushing for that build diversity and better combat feel they keep talking about.
So wrapping it all up, what does this mean for you, the player, jumping back into Appalachia?
Well, on one hand, you've got this whole new chill activity with fishing. New rewards, new loop.
But on the other, the way you fight might need a serious rethink.
Absolutely. Your trusty old build, it might feel different, maybe better. Maybe it needs some tweaks. Or maybe entirely new builds are now top tier because of these interconnected changes.
And here's the really fascinating question to leave people with.
Right.
With crippling being universal now, how do strategies change for those really tough fights? Those bosses you couldn't cripple before, what's the new meta going to look like?
Exactly. Which perk combos, which legendary effects, which weapons are going to shine in this new landscape? It's not just an update. It really feels like a fresh puzzle for the community to solve.
Okay.
A whole new wasteland meta to figure out.